Okay YouTubers, this week's Toy Tuesday is late. Completely my fault. I started filming a video 5 days out of surgery. I'm going to blame the morphine, but it was terrible. So what I decided to do was go back to the drawing board, completely scrap it and make a brand new video, which is this. I hope you enjoy. Warning! James Bond fans may find the next statement controversial. I think the Lotus Esprit from The Spy Who Loved Me was the last ever great Bond car. And I think the same can be said about Corgi's version of the Lotus. It's one of their best and last ever great toys. After this, I think Corgi just sort of gave up and stopped putting any effort in. Apart from things like the Batman and Spider-Man motorbikes, which weren't great, a fire engine that squirted water but always leaked, and the Buck Rogers Starfighter, which was really cool. You could pretty much say Corgi's golden days of miniature engineering were well and truly over, and all they've done since then is rehash the same old toys over and over again for years. But fortunately, this toy is up there with the DB5, the Batmobile, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which I hate saying, and the Green Hornet car. Stay tuned to find out later on in this video who's won the Batman figure, but for now, back to the Lotus. Hopefully by now I haven't alienated every toy collector in the world, so I'll try and explain why this is the last great Bond car and Corgi's last great toy. Now I have to admit there have been a handful of good Bond cars since the Lotus Esprit from The Spy Who Loved Me, like the return of Aston Martins in later films, but none of them have a starring role like this did. And there definitely haven't been any great ones. Certainly none that have had any of the impact that the Lotus did when it first hit the silver screen. In later films we had to put up with stupid things like 2 CVs, half a Renault 11, a bus with the top missing, a convertible Land Rover with a horse's arse that a plane comes out of, and a gondola. What was all that about? Oh, and don't remind me about the BMW 7 Series. I rest my case. And that's kind of my point about the Lotus. There's been nothing like it since. I still remember the point in the film where this thing came off the ferry onto the dock. It looked like nothing I'd ever seen before. And then it gets a 9-minute chase sequence throughout the film where it turns into a submarine and goes underwater and it shoots a helicopter and it drops landmines. But one important factor is it can't be outrun by a Ford Granada. I think it was a Ford Granada that the baddies were in. And what it had to do was shoot concrete out the back of it onto the windscreen. Now that seems a strange thing to me to be carrying around in the back of a submarine, is a tank full of concrete ready to squirt at your enemies. Oh, and the other thing it couldn't outrun as well is someone swimming. But that was such a great chase sequence, and it went underwater, then it came out, and it wasn't cheesy. Well, it was a little bit cheesy, but it was done really well, and they spent 9 months developing that sequence start to finish, and that's why it's such a quality piece in the film. And also I think at the time this was the most profitable Bond film. It was an accumulation of a lot of things coming together. Roger Moore, good script, good car, decent effects, not too silly. Even Roger Moore said it was one of his better Bond films. So that's why I believe the Lotus S1 was the last ever great Bond car. I mean, the next time you see a Lotus, it's the turbos, and they look super cool. One of them gets blown up because someone smashes a window, which is so annoying. And then the other one, the only gadget that one has is skis on the back, and he drives it around in the snow. So really they wasted potential with later cars. And again, that is why I believe this was the last great Bond car. The Lotus Esprit S1. And I'm not alone in thinking this is one of the best ever Bond cars. Elon Musk spent nearly $1 million at auction buying the underwater version of this known as Wet Nelly, which is a terrible name. I'll let you add your own jokes in the comment section below. And he used it to inspire his Cybertruck weird looking thing that he was going to make. But he still spent $1 million on it, and that's got to make it cool. And that's why this is one of the greatest toys, because it does that. Oops. Coming up soon in this video, I will randomly select a winner for this epic Batman figure. It was no coincidence the Lotus Esprit became a Bond car. Having heard that they were looking for a new car for the latest film, the then PR boss of Lotus removed all of the signs of manufacture from the prototype Lotus and parked it at various locations around Pinewood Studios. Once a crowd of executives had gathered there to admire the car, he then got in it and drove off, creating a mystery around this impressive cool car that had shown up at the studios. Once the Bond producers discovered who made the car, the rest is history. I've lost one of my Bond cars. There. As I said before, I remember the scene of the film where this came off the ferry onto the dock. Now this is 1977 and I was 4 years old, and I remember it vividly. It's one of my earliest childhood memories, and I remember vividly as well opening the box for this. I mean, I ripped it to shreds. I absolutely murdered it, which as a toy collector now kind of makes me go a little bit all kind of weird because I shouldn't have done that, but I did. I destroyed the box. But I remember the packaging. Some had a hammer and sickle on. I think one had a red back on it, and then I think they did these as a twin set as well, and you could get this on its own. This was the Husky or the Corgi Juniors version, is it? Yeah, Corgi Junior's version. I don't think they did a Husky version. They may have done. If they did, let me know in the comment section below. But I remember opening these vividly, and you know, the impact this had as a toy, that mechanism, like I said before. I'll cut to me firing the rockets out in a minute. They don't fire all at once, they fire in succession, which is really tricky. And I've got the Great Book of Corgi here, which I've been looking at. I'll kind of hold it up. I don't know if you can see that there. That's the internal workings of the car. I mean, it's absolutely packed. You know, they couldn't have got any more in it if they tried. And I know the wheels on it are rubbish. They're actually the same size as the ones on the Corgi Junior. But when you see that picture and how much they've crammed into here with the mechanism and everything inside, you understand why they're kind of an afterthought in the middle of the car. The kind of toys after this were rubbish. I suppose there wasn't another Bond car with gadgets on it until years after. By then it would have been too expensive for Corgi to make. So it's a real shame, and I think this marks the end of an era in toy making for Corgi. That's 45 years old and it's still in the Corgi catalogue. In the first year of production, Corgi sold 1.5 million of them, which is kind of up there with the DB5 in terms of toy sales. And obviously they kept it on sale since then, so it was worth doing. And I don't think Corgi have ever recast this model either. Just gonna go and get one from over there. Yeah, this is the director's cut from 2006. I think that's the same casting, which is incredible really, to say that the toy has lasted that long. They've added a couple of little details like the Lotus badge on the front. They've taken the James Bond sticker off. End of an era for Corgi, that, which is a real shame, but I have to say they did go out on a high. I mean, this is one of my favourite ever toys. It's one of my favourite ever cars. I'll never forget this car because I went to see it at the Cars of the Stars in the Lakes before it moved to America to go on display there. Because I wanted to see it for the last time basically, and on the way back we bought some petrol, then stopped to get tea at a cafe, and I went to pay with my card and it wouldn't work, so I had to phone the bank up because this was pre-internet banking days, and someone had spent £4 on my card in Germany, which was nice of them. So I'll never forget this bloody car. I would also like to say thank you to everyone for your best wishes. I am now 2 weeks out of surgery. I am a lot better. I can stand, I can walk. I'm hoping in my next video I'm going to be back at the shop. I don't know yet. I'm supposed to take 4 weeks off, but I'm going mental here at home. Right, let's randomly select a winner for this Batman figure. And the winner is Bel Air Sense. DM me and I'll post this out to you. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to Keith, who sent me a short video of him unboxing the Bond car that he won in the previous video.
I've been expecting you, Mr. Bond. So thanks to Brooks Collectables for the amazing prize. I haven't actually opened it yet, so I'm going to do that very quickly now. Very gentle with it. So, nice little hole. Ooh. It's gold. Gold! So thank you very much. Very much appreciated. I will try not to lose the little guy down the settee or something like that. Oh, there he is. Thankfully he is stuck inside, so I will attempt to, there he is. I'll attempt to get him out. Put him in there. He didn't go on the floor. It's fine. Everything's fine. Thank you very much. Keep posting the videos, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Anyway, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon for another Toy Tuesday. Hopefully at the shop.